In today's video, I'm going to show you how to get across the border from Mexico to Guatemala overland using the border crossing in Chiapas. I thought I'd give you a quick idea of how to get from Mexico to Guatemala through the Chiapas border area. Pretty straightforward, really, in the long run. Just a few hours it takes probably in the end. So for this journey, I'd be starting in Comitan de Dominguez, Mexico, in the southern part of the state of Chiapas, and arriving in Huehuetenango in Guatemala. I crossed over at the La Mesilla border crossing between Mexico and Guatemala, and while fairly straightforward, there are a few tips and tricks that you should be aware of if you're going to do this yourself. So I'm just on my phone here temporarily because I got my bags all packed, and this is not the last stop. I'm actually just here in the town of Cuauhtémoc, which is about 5 kilometers from the border with Guatemala. I took a colectivo from there in town. It was 100 pesos to here, and all good. So if you're leaving from Comitan like I did, you want to head down to between 1st and 2nd Streets Southwest, which is sort of right on the main road through town. If you ask any taxi driver or Uber driver or whatever that you're going to the frontera with Guatemala, they will know exactly where to take you. You actually have to stop here first to get stamped out, then proceed from here to the border. Just hop in a taxi. The colectivo driver told me it should only be about 20 pesos for a taxi to the border from here. And anyway, all good. So I'm just going to head inside here and get stamped out and then proceed to the border to get into Guatemala. So just a quick note about the immigration office in Cuauhtémoc, Mexico. It is closed on the weekends. So if you are going to go through this border process from Mexico to Guatemala, make sure you do it between Monday and Friday because they are not open on Saturdays and Sundays. So it was quick and easy, in and out in about 2 minutes. So for me, I flew into Mexico. So when I arrived in Mexico, part of my plane ticket price is actually the tourist tax that you're supposed to pay in Mexico. So if you're leaving Overland and you flew into Mexico, there is no departure tax. Just make sure you have your itinerary from your flight with the itemized list on it. If you need it, you probably don't. I didn't hear, but I've heard of other people needing it from time to time. So just keep that in mind. Most importantly, if you did fly in and you have one of those receipts with the barcode on it that you got like at the Cancun airport or something, make sure you've scanned that because that will actually be your departure card that they'll scan here at immigration. Just another quick note about these QR codes. Make sure that you scan them with your phone at some point before your departure from the country, and that will be used as proof of exit when you're ready to leave. Anyway, all done. 2 minutes in and out. Gonna head across the street, find a taxi for 20 pesos, and head to the border with Guatemala next. I see there's a bunch of taxis right across the street, so I assume I'll just grab one of those guys and head out. So it's worth noting that the taxis are 20 pesos per person, but that is only if you have a full car. Otherwise, it is 100 in total. So the best bet to do, what I did, is to find a couple of other people who were heading to the border and share the taxi with them. We ended up having 6 people in our car between the driver and the 5 passengers, but I did end up paying just the 20 pesos. Next stop, Guatemala. Adios, Mexico. Welcome to Guatemala. We're just here at the frontier town. Heading over, gonna go get stamped in, get some money changed, and then move on from here. So we are officially stamped into Guatemala. That process was just as fast and easy, in and out in about 2 minutes. Easy, easy, easy. So we are just here at the border. You can see there's the sign for entering Mexico, which we are done with.
So we are heading this way next.
So once you're finished at Guatemala immigration, your next step is to walk up to the bus terminal. It is about 15 to 20 minutes or so uphill to the bus terminal. So if you can find a tuk-tuk or something to take you there, that is usually the best way to do it. I decided to walk it that day, and I actually stopped for some lunch and do some people watching, and then headed up to the bus terminal. As soon as I got there, a bus was pulling out to head to Huehuetenango, so that was quick and easy. So at the end of the day, the total cost breakdown for the entire trip was as follows. I took a taxi over to the Colectivos in Comitan, which cost me 50 Mexican pesos. I then took the Colectivo to Cuauhtémoc to get my exit stamp. That was 100 pesos. The shared taxi to the border with Guatemala was 20 pesos. And then once entering Guatemala, my only remaining expenses for the day was the lunch I mentioned just across the border, which was 42 quetzales. The bus that I took from the border to Huehuetenango cost me 30 quetzales. And then I finally took one final bus from the bus station to the Central Park near where my hotel was in Huehuetenango, and that was 3 quetzales. I would say in the end, the entire process took me about 6 to 7 hours that day. It was a very smooth process. There was not much waiting at any point along the way. Things worked out very, very well, and as long as you have an understanding of how to follow these steps, you will have an easy time too.
So it's not very often you get a second chance to do a room review, but today is one of those days. So quick recap, I went through this part of Guatemala last year through my Western Highlands trip. If you haven't seen those videos, check them out. And I'm back here in Huehuetenango, just as a stopover between going from Mexico all the way down to Lake Aratlan. And so I thought I would book a room at the same place as I stayed last time, the Hotel Shinula. I stayed here last year, had a great time, super great room. It's right in the middle of the market. It's like 2 blocks from the main square. It's perfect location. And so when I booked it this time, I had no expectations that, I'd be in the same room or anything. But lo and behold, I'm in the exact same room as I was last year. So this is room 309 here at the Hotel Shinula in Huehuetenango. And for the second time, I can definitively say it is a great stay. So you get a really comfortable, and I mean very comfortable, like this is one of the most comfortable beds I've slept on anywhere in my travels. Double-sized bed, pillows are awesome, had a great sleep. I get this nice big wingback chair here, which looks kind of out of place, but it's very comfortable to sit on and relax. And nice little view outside here. Not too much to see really, except the cathedral is just sort of right there. And TV up on the wall, not a smart TV, just a regular television. So if you want to watch some Spanish television, this is the place for you. Nice bathroom, nice walk-in shower, good hot water here, which is great. It takes a couple minutes for it to warm up, but when it does, it is wicked hot. So that's great. There's also a little kitchenette / desk area here. Not a lot. There's obviously a little sink, a little hot plate. Underneath here, there's actually some dishes and stuff that you can use, pots and pans and all those sorts of things. I just got a morning coffee on the go there real quick. Lots of storage here also. So if you do want to unpack and, there's hangers there, there's some drawers in there, that type of stuff. Great Wi-Fi. I think the Wi-Fi here is actually better this year than it was last. I'm up here on the 3rd floor, and when I was here last year, because I'm sort of at the end, it was a little weak at times, but they must have installed a new repeater or something because last night was awesome. So anyway, Hotel Shinula here in Huehuetenango is fantastic. if you need a place to stay that's a budget place, that's quiet at night, busy during the day, it's very noisy outside right now, but quiet at nighttime, and yeah, has everything you need. You know, I always look for a comfortable bed, good Wi-Fi, hot shower, good location, and this checks all those boxes. And so one of the things, of course, everyone's curious about as always is what does a place like this cost? So I book directly through their WhatsApp number, which I'll put here on the screen. You can also book them through all the usual sites and stuff as well, but the best rate is to contact them directly. I paid 110 quetzales for one night, which works out to about $14 US. And yeah, no complaints at all. Nice, good security down the front. You know, there's somebody at the front desk 24/7. They have a little refrigerator down there with drinks and stuff if you want to buy some of those. And yeah, I've been here twice and I would come back a third time, no questions asked. Fantastic deal, fantastic place, great staff, comfortable beds. It's all you really need. So if you're in Huehuetenango, passing through this part of Guatemala for a night or for a week, I would say this is a great place to stay. So thank you so much as always for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like or a comment down below to let me know that you were here. If you haven't subscribed to my channel or you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to support me, there's a few different ways you can do that. I have my Patreon set up and running with lots of bonus material, videos, pictures, bonus content, all that kind of good stuff. And if you'd like to support me one time instead, a couple QR links here on the screen for PayPal and for Bitcoin. Absolutely no pressure or requirement to do so, but I do all this on my own, all the filming, the traveling, the editing, and so on and so forth. So anything that you can donate goes directly back to helping me to continue to provide these videos. And remember, life is short. Wander. And I'll see you in the next video.